Alright, hello everyone, Nicotine, redeeming the first. Hello, hello, great to see you. We are back, it's been a while, I hope everything will work. It's chaos. Anyway, we've got the new plane, we've got the new scenery, it's gonna be great. We had the scenery of this place before, but this one is way better, so I'm gonna show you. Hang on, I put down the base and I'll show you around. Alright, I hope you heard the intro. So, anyway, welcome again. I flew this plane before. It's pretty nice, but it's fast, so flying only on instruments, not, I mean, just for data, not looking at the Garmin, can be a little struggle. So it's gonna be fun. And let's share the scenery. That's the place where I live, and Trevetsky did a new one. It's pretty good. I like it. So hang on, I'll go and rest the drone. How are you? Yeah, I'm fine today. It's been a struggle recently, but hey, here we are. And yeah, I did flew the TBM. It's super nice. I found a few things that are off. Oh, I was actually going to write to you. So I'll do that later. But a few things are maybe slightly off, but in general, I super like it. It's very nice. So that's the place. We are on the GA apron, which is on the south. It's basically super far from anything else. As you can see, there's the main apron, and over there is the old terminal with the new runner maintenance hangar, which used to be GA apron as well, but it has been transformed into, well, Big Plains apron. I'll do this by Discord, no problem. And also what Strzelecki did is they added some buildings in the background, like this guy. And some churches. Yeah, there's this hall. And there are a few churches in downtown. And the power plant. So that really makes the skyline look super nice. I really like it. Oh, there's also the bridge. So if you look there, there is a huge bridge and a stadium. So they also added that. So here we are. We have the control tower, there's the cargo terminal, the main terminal, which looks pretty decent inside as well. We've got some static planes, the car park, so looks legit. Hmm. And I did want to go through all the checklists, so we'll try to do that. Right, the ads are running, left, right and center. I have a run, is fine with that. I'll try to keep mind of when the ads are in progress and I don't do anything super important in that time. I checked that my controls work. Yay, they absolutely do. Right, the ad is over in a few seconds. So in the meantime, I will open the checklist. There we go, the ad is over. So I am opening the checklist and we'll try to go and follow it. Also, one thing I found is I managed to make the font smaller by changing the interface size. And, well, it just works way better for me. So, the pre-flight preparation cockpit is a huge one. You should be able to read the screen. So, let's do that. First time I did that, it took forever. It is to be expected because, well, I didn't know where anything was, so it definitely took a while. Right, let's get going. So we have the crash lever, which is here. Also, there's a chance that I left something in the wrong state, so we'll have a chance to find that. Yeah, the BS checklists are very complete. Yeah, also I think 1 or 2 bits are maybe in the wrong order because I ran into something not being correct, but it also might have been me doing something wrong. So we'll see about that. Right, crash lever up. There's the crash lever. It's pretty nice here in the TBM. I haven't been doing the checklist in Misfits before using these planes, so that's new to me. I just hope the sim is responsive. It seems a bit odd today, and it might be because I changed the system settings to prioritize background applications as well, in hope we will get more CPU for OBS and less for the Misfits, and also hoping that if I click to OBS, the Misfits will not slow down. So I'll see how this works. Alright, I'm doing this in the order. Also, this checklist jumps all over the place, which is probably the right order, but I guess maybe some pilots do optimize this so they have a more logical flow, but it's okay when I have that here. So source selector is off, is down. Alright, take that. Generator selector on main. So I understand that we have 2 generators and we can be either on main or standby in case the main fails. And I also understand that they're off unless the engine is running, so I understand it just automatically comes online when it senses the engine running. Because normally well, later on during the checklist we put it to main before starting the engine, while in most other planes you do that after, so I understand it's being kept offline when the engine is not running, which would be smart. Right, we do keep that on main. Starter is off. Pew pew. Ignition, auto or off? I'll keep it on auto, so we'll have it ready for later. Exterior lights are all off, so I super like how the lights are in one big spot here, and I also love those white markings that are limiting some logical group of switches. And there's also a name of what it is, so exterior lights all off. That's how they're on, that's off. And I found that in most planes, when the top is in means on, when the bottom is in means off. Sometimes we have an off marking here, so when it's off you'll actually be able to read off, which one time in the real plane confused me because I was like, alright, if I click it, will it be off or is it off now? So lesson learned. When you can see off, it's off. Except maybe in lights in the 737, which are the other way around, and probably some other planes as well. Gyro instruments all off. I wonder, I think there's section-based gyro instruments. Emergency lights. So the emergency lights, let me just remember. Yeah, here they are. So we put this to bright and we can see the lights going up. It's way harder doing that at night because it's super dark in the cockpit. Circuit breakers, now that's the tricky part because we actually need to move there. It's not gonna work. So now the way to check that. Alright. You just have a close look, but well, I did put my head in a nice spot so I can see that whenever something is actually popped out, you will see the color here. Those are red. I think they should be white, but most planes they are white, but I don't know. Maybe in this one they're red. So that's probably fine. And if you don't see any, it's good. Other way to do that is to just run your palm over that and you'll feel anyone that's out. That's what I like doing when I have this a bit closer to me. Alright, so that's all in. We'll do it nice and slow. I'll try to talk some fun stuff during that, so maybe you'll learn a thing or two, or maybe I'll get lost and I'll learn a thing or two. So the icing switches are here, the ice system, all are off. That's on, that's off. Landing gear control down. Just check it works. Also, if you notice, this switch here, it has a bump. So in real plane, you need to pull it out, go over the bump, and then the spring will pop it back in. So you don't just bump it up by mistake with your knee or whatever. You have to like think about it, pull it, put it up, and it will pop back in once you release it. I'm not sure if that's animated. No, it's not animated. So it just looks like it moves up and down like this, but in reality you pull it out, then move up, and it will pop back in with the spring. And this bump here, this metal bump, does the trick. Alright, AP3 Master. Yay, I remember where everything is. That feels super rewarding. Also, I think from all the Black Score series, this one looks like most in place. I think the Caravan, well, maybe not the Caravan, but at least the Baron and all other are a bit fictional in sense that there is maybe not any real plane with exact layout of instruments. Black BA? I meant Black Score. Kinger. Oh, yeah, like Kinger. So I'm not sure if they're based on a real plane or not, and it feels like it's a bit of out of place. I mean, I'm not complaining because I love those planes, but it gives that feeling. And this one feels like everything is where it should be. So it looks way nicer than the others. And I don't mean the others look wrong, they're super great. It's just this one looks even better. So we keep this on off. Also notice that this autopilot master and trims master were the electrical trims. So what you can have is AP off and trims on. Flying broccoli or broccoli, it is the freezer. Welcome, welcome at a decent tour. Yeah, we are also in a place where I actually live, so and there is a new scenery for this, so I'm super hyped and impressed. It's a very nice scenery. Also, when you look around, they added some objects on the city skyline, like this guy here. The others were based on 3D model, while this one got modeled from scratch. Yeah, maybe. I think it's just the interior looks, but... So the others just give me the vibe like, this probably is not a real plane, well, which I'm not sure if it's correct or not, but this one definitely gives the vibe of a real plane. So I super like Black Square getting better and better with what they do. Even though the first one was great. Anyway. So the trims, and it means when this is in AP off, that electrical trims will work. So you will be able to hit those electrical switches here and they will operate the trims. And the last position is all on, so then both the trims and the autopilot will be on, which we'll see a bit later. Alright, Radio Master. I like the position of the Radio Master here in, I think in King Air it's in a bit weird spot, like it's sitting alone here. Right, the ad is running. I didn't see that it's gonna be soon. I'm not sure I missed it. Flying Rocky, how are you doing? I think you still have a chance to redeem the second or third. Right, the master is off, Bleeder. So we've got the whole bleed panel here. Also, I hate how the Seahawks get in the way. In the real plane, you can just move your head around, and you absolutely have to, because it's not gonna work otherwise. Oh, the ad is over. Flying Broccoli, I think you still have a chance to hit the second or third in the channel points redeem. So I was saying the Seahawks always get in the way, and you cannot see what you're looking for. And in real plane, it is a struggle as well. You just have to move your head around, which is not super convenient. Hang on, I'll try to get the music a bit quieter. That's probably gonna sound a bit better. Bleeder, here. So we've got off and reset, auto and high, so we keep it on off. Also, I like that basically each panel has a test light, which we'll see later. Air conditioning off, so that's here. Damp switch guarded, that's the damp switch, and down it's in damping the pressure from the plane outside. So we do keep it guarded, and you can see it keeps it in this position, this up position. Ram air handle. So that's on and that's off, we keep it off. Usually in the planes, the convention is that everything pushed in is for takeoff, which I found some exceptions, like the V-tail Bonanza, which has the cowl flaps the other way that I would expect them, but apparently it's so in the real plane as well. I'm still not sure what this ram air handle does. Does it just push the air from the outside into the cabin, or does it push it into some system? Because we also have the alternate static source, which is here, and that is definitely the different thing. So that's to provide alternate static pressure to our altimeters. Also, one thing to note is that pressure in the cabin will be slightly lower than outside, because, well, the air moving outside is sucking it out. So your altimeter will read slightly higher than it should be reading. Oh, maybe this is not on checklist, but... Right, auto fuel selector, that's probably one of the best features of the plane. Just auto switching the fuel tanks, I absolutely love it. It is a hassle to manually switch those tanks in a real plane. So we have it in manual. Auxiliary boost, off. We have off on auto. Tank selector left or right, and there is left or right because we also have off position, and to put it in off position, you need to pull it, and then you can rotate it to off position. Once you put it back in tanks, it will pop in automatically. That's a feature, so you do not turn it to off when you don't want to. Also, what's this guy? Looks like a tray for drinks. That is coffee, of course. Right, ELT, it's here. That's usually easy to find because it's a big red switch. And we have armed in the middle, test in the bottom, and on top. I'm not sure about that, but I guess it only will trigger on after a few seconds of turning it on. So, but that's my wild guess. I may be super wrong about it. And of course, there is this placard here for aviation emergency use only, unauthorized operation prohibited. Yes. Parking brake set. So, where's the parking brake? Oh, it's a nice one. Alright. So that's set, that's off. I think as in... Well, I'm not sure about this plane, but basically in every other J plane, you need to first press on the brakes on pedals and then turn it on, which may or may not be the case in this plane. I actually don't know. I guess it will be the case. Right, I'll scroll the list a bit. Manual override lever off. So that's the one. And during flying the Caravan, we learned that this lever controls FADEC, but if the FADEC fails, well, FADEC or maybe there's, well, actually that's not FADEC. There is this fuel injection system that gives as much fuel as you need to get the proper power. So it's doing some calculation in there, but if it fails, you can manually do that. But then I think you won't get the full power probably, plus you need to be careful what you're doing. So this works not on top of the other throttle, if this one fails, I mean the electronic controller fails, then you can operate your thrust with this manual override. No idea, truth is I'm really busy recently and didn't take much time read the various UH. Hey, no worry about it, you read them whenever you have time. I am the same way. One day I need to know and I look through them all the time. So that's off. Our level needs to be in flight idle. So we have the taxi and flight idle is, well, there should be an animation for that. It's another. I think the flight idle is when the bottom of the throttle is touching this line here. Then we have ground idle like that and full reverse. So that's ground idle, and in this plane it will let you go into ground idle when you're on ground, and when you're flying it will only let you go down to flight idle, which is great. It's probably the best way to implement it. Only three years after the sim came out, we got finally someone figuring it out. Right, propeller lever, max RPM. So this is different to the other planes, that you start with the max RPM. Condition lever is in cutoff. Flap control, that's here. And this one has a peculiar feature that you can put in the 850 mode, and then to let you drive more power from the engine. So when it's in the up position, you can only go with the torque up to this line, so 100% torque. When you're in the 850 mode, you can go all the way up to the red line, which is a bit different than in every other plane I've seen, because usually in most planes, well, 100% ish is what you get for takeoff, and that's max takeoff power, which is time limited, and then in cruise you need to beat a bit lower, which is max continuous power. In this plane it is the other way around, which is so strange. My guess is that the torque or some aerodynamic effects or whatever is just too much for safe takeoff, so they limited it this way. But yeah, to be fair, it is really strange, but I love it. It flies great. One problem I'm having is I didn't map this to anything on my hardware, so I need to dive down here, and at night this is not very well illuminated, but we are good to go. Right, battery bus power, check supply, and the way we did that is we hit this axis and it lights some lights back there. So you see now those lights went on. When I did it again, they went off. And this is how we check that the battery bus is actually supplied with power. Right. When I went through the plane before stream, it is so much smoother. Also, I super like struggling with that on stream. Right, battery is source, the source selector, battery or GPU. I'm not sure if we have the GPU at the moment, so I'll keep it in battery. Voltmeter above 25, so that's here, it's showing, well, 25-ish. Just keep in mind there is a parallax effect when you're looking from the side like that, so it is a good idea to get your head down there, well, up there, and read that correctly. Also, whenever I see this blinking, I like to see what has been added to the list and cancel them. So whenever something new pops up, I will see that there's a change. So the way I do that is I just move my head so I'm just in front of the instrument. Uh-oh. So we are not over 25 volts. Alright, I'll keep this in mind. Now, what do we have next? Exterior lights panel. Right, light test. Now, I'm not sure how we were supposed to do that in this plane. What I did in a plane I was flying, I would just turn them all on, get out, run around the plane, and see if it actually works. Oh, we do have the GPU. So let's switch to GPU. So let's have a look here. We have the taxi light and it is a LED light. Great. Then we have landing light, which is blinking because we did put it in the pulse mode here. See, now it's steady, now it's blinking. We have left navigation light, we have strobe light. Now in the back we have white navigation light. Or do we? I think it's in here, it's just no. It's not here. Confusion. Where's the white light? It's easier at night. Hang on. We're gonna put it in night mode. I have a feeling this is painted over in this livery, but I may be wrong. I don't remember where it was in the other liveries. I am so confused now. So we have the navigation light here, and on the other side we have the green one, we have the strobe. Oh, I see. That's where the taillight is. So the white taillight is here on the back side of this lamp, and the strobe is in the middle. Ah, good to know. Alright, that has been covered, so we can go back to lifetime. And the other landing light. That's pretty much it. So I can go back inside and get them all off, I think. We can keep them... Well, it's cockpit preparation, so maybe you don't need to keep the nav on. Fuel gauges, check quantity. Oh. So, this started blinking. I don't know if it changed anything, or maybe we had something in the middle and now it's off. Also, during the day you can read what is off. During the night it's a bit harder. So there's ITL pressure, starter ignition, park brake, bleed time, bleed off, cap pressure, door flaps, oxygen, pitot 1, pitot 2, stall heater, inertia separator, vacuum low, torque, battery off. Oh, so that's the one we changed because we got the GPU. Aha. Now it changed and we can see that. So there is battery off on GPU and low voltage is the other one. I see. So that's why it started blinking. Chip, when you get any metal chips in the engine, oil, which is detected by the chip detector, fuel off, fuel pressure, auxiliary boost pop on, left fuel low, right fuel low, auto selector, and you'll see more of that now. Oh wait, fuel, check quantity. We are 50. I like to have all the fuel I can get for today, so let's do that. Boom. I did balance my audio a bit. Alright, so we've got full fuel left and right, and there are two needles, one on top of the other, and you can see that one has L, the other has R on it. So that's done. Advisory panel, check 1 and 2. Now what we're checking is there are 2 lights illuminating each of this one, and we can check the 2 systems by checking the first system on test 1 and then second system on test 2. And we see that all are illuminated, including the ones that do not do anything. And you can also turn them dim or bright. It doesn't make much difference now, but I'll keep them in bright. Oxygen annunciation here extinguished. Interior lights as required. Now it's a good thing to know where they are. To have the master cabin switch, the way it works, I think people here in the back, they can turn on those lights, and once you're ready for landing or takeoff, you can override this and have it off. Boom. So you don't need to reach out there or negotiate. Now we have the instrument lights. So these are the ones illuminating the instruments, and they do come from here. Server, we should be... Uh-oh. We should be on Europe now. Hang on, let me fix that. Okay. The way to fix that is... I remember. Go to the settings here. We go to Twitch. And it is disconnected because my token ran out. So hang on, I'll do that. world42.com/FTC. Alright, I did copy the token. Pasted the new one and unclick, and it's connected. Server distracting you. No problem. I did expect that something will not work. Yay, there we go. Better now than when I'm flying. Oh, also I think I love the fingerprints. This is brilliant. Alright, so the interior lights, we have the instruments one and we have the panel. Alright, so that's the main one, illuminating the panel from, I think from under here. Or maybe not. From some magical place, I cannot find now. So, we'll keep this off for the time being. Do we have any lights up here? Also, it's a bit hard to illuminate this area. So that's a struggle when I'm flying. I'm not sure what the best way to do that is. Oh, it might be illuminated by this light, although it's hardly even reaching there. Well, one thing, well, have this emergency, but it's illuminating everything. Oh, we have the oxygen mask over here as well. So that's done. Environmental panel. So we're jumping all over the place, but I think that's okay. Test. And it's showing the ECS fault, which is what we wanted to see. Now flaps down. And we'll leave them like that until we are ready to start the engine. Now, I'm not exactly sure why we do that. Oh, now I know. It's probably so that it's easier to get this door open. Also, I can show, we can open the door. We have engine cowlings here. We have pilot door, which is optional as far as I've read on the TBM. So in the model in the plane they modeled this on, they had it. And one thing to know, this pressurized aircraft and those doors are either in a pressurized state, well, or ready to be pressurized or not. And you can see that here. So now we have the green stripes, and you can disarm this. So press to unlock and see it popped in the in the red. So now I understand we will not be able to pressurize the aircraft when it's in the red. And you can open the door. And also get the stairs. So that's door number 1. Let's have a look what we have. We have chokes, wheel chokes here in the back. So now they're popped in. And we have the other door. Passenger door. So same story. There is green stripes. We unlock. Red stripes and open the door. And open the stairs. I have a feeling the sim is stuttering a bit, so I'm not sure what I did wrong. I will not bother about it today. So that's the plane open. It's probably super cold, and yeah, so that's the reason for getting the flaps down, so you do not hit the stairs on the flap. Interesting. So I guess normally I would expect that when you leave the plane for the night, you put the flaps up anyway. So I understand if you don't have the pilot door, you will just get all the passengers out, then get the stairs up, get the flaps up, and then the pilot will just crawl through the seat. Interesting. And we also have this baggage door, which I don't remember how to open. Maybe we'll find later. Alright, landing gear panel. I think we'll want to be flying before 1 hour mark. Light test. So we have 2 lights as in the other place. And we can check the first and the second system. So that's first system, all 4 illuminated. Second one, all 4. We also have this check down, which I'm not exactly sure how it works. I think I know what can be the reason. So when you're in day and there is sunlight, those lights may not be very prominent and you might have a hard time telling if they're on or off. So this will just start blinking them, and now we say, oh, so they're definitely on. Right, Pita hit 1 on. And we check that it is extinguished. So see, now it's extinguished. When I put it off, it's coming back on. Now Pito and stall hit. And the second went off. So we're actually checking that all of this indication work. And we put both of them off. The icing panel light test. So it's here. Oh, see, now it's very hard to tell that they're actually on. Alright, all are illuminated. And source selector off. And that's the end of the preparation checklist. So we just put all the switches in the correct places and check that everything works, all the lights and whatnot. Alright, sip of water and you can continue. So what we are not doing now, before engine starts, pre-flight inspection, we just did it. Nose baggage door. Let's find where it is. Oh, that's here. And there's like a key that you can click. So let's have a look outside. And that's the baggage door open. Alright, I need to remember where it is. So it's here. And boom, it's closing. Wheel chokes. So we click here behind and they popped in, and we can see that they are not on the gear anymore. Engine compartment. We pull those handles here. There's one here and there's the other one here, and we can see it closing. Also the engine is modeled very nice. Cabin access door. and pilot door. So we need to latch them. So let's just jump there. We get the stairs up and we click this button to close them. So latched is the word, and those two popped into green. So that's what I wanted to check, that this is actually green. So they're latched. And now we do the same for the pilot door. So get the stairs up. Oh geez, the sim is lagging a lot. I broke it. And press on the handle. That's closed and the green popped in here. So that's latched. Parking brake is set, but alright, I won't be resetting it because I've just said it before. But if I was just coming to the plane, I would reset the brake. So step on the pedals, put this off, push hard on the pedals and put this on. Also, we are in Europe, we need to switch to Celsius. 12 degrees and 11 degrees. Hang on. So outside it's 12, inside it's 11. GG. Oxygen pressure. It's here. So I think that's okay. I'm not sure how high it should be. That looks about right. I think it goes down while we're using it in flight. Oxygen supply on. So do we need to put both of them on? I'm not sure about that. So there's oxygen supply and we put it on for pilot. Oh, and this switch goes the other way. So that's interesting. And it only shows the one for the pilot. So I'll keep the passenger off. Oh, it actually is in the next step. Passenger oxygen off. Microphone selector. That will be, hang on, I remember it was, well I don't. Where can it be? I'll find it, there's crew music. Oh, there's crew showing up. That's how it works, interesting. And I think we also have the cigarette lighter here, or at least the socket where you can plug your whatever is powered from the cigarette lighter, but we also have the USB plugs. And these are Copilot headset, so headset and, well, headphones and microphone. And same for the pilot. The microphone is thinner, which I'm not sure if you can see here, but in real life the microphone plug is just thinner, and that's how we tell which is which. I'll find it. I will find it. Oh, also, as for the instruments, you can have here the old ones, the GNS 530 or the GTN. I'll go with the GNS. And also you can select the old ones for COM and NAV2 or the GNS, but if you have two GNSs, they are conflicting a bit, so that doesn't really help much. They're basically both trying to operate the NAV1 system and it's not working great. So I'll stick with that. We also have this KNS 80 RNAV system, which I'll show you how to use it. It's super nice. If I can find this microphone selector, or we'll just cancel the flight. Oh dear, it's gotta be somewhere. Here's engine trend monitor. It's not it. That's not it. Not here. Conditioning, fan flow, bleed. Alright, I'm close to giving up. Right, I give up. Where are you? You're here. That's why I didn't see you, because you're guarded. Alright. So it's guarded, but it's not in red. And you have mask or normal, so we keep it in normal. Another rat is running. How many do we have them? I think it runs every 10 minutes, so we don't have the pre-roll ads, which I'm not super happy about, but it seems that is what everyone is doing, so I'll keep that as well. Starter off. Right, let's wait for the app to end. Yay! Welcome back after the ad. I kept it on because that's what everyone is doing. I'm not super happy about it either way. But let's try doing that. So we have the starter off. I found the microphone button. It's here, but it's guarded. That's why I didn't see it. So we have the ignition on. Well, starter is off. Ignition is auto. Landing gear control is down. Radio master on if clearance required. And that is one neat feature I found here, because in most depending on the plane, you usually want to only power the COM1, so you save a bit of battery power. And this plane, it's super well done, so the way it works, when the battery source is off, where the source is off, and you put the radio master on, you will see this ground clearance LED, and it will only power up the COM1 system, which I found super convenient. So normally you would power this up and you would get the 80s and get the clearance for the flight and get the startup clearance, or maybe if you're afraid about the battery, we'll get the startup clearance first and then get the flight clearance, because it does take a while to get it. So have the COM1, we can do that. And once we're done, we turn this off. Source selector, battery or GPU. So let's go for the GPU. Actually, I haven't done the GPU start, so we'll try it. Horn test hold. Horn is here. I do hear the horn. Okay. So that worked. Door annunciation extinguished. The door is here, so that's extinguished. Fuel gauges, check quantity, full and full. Auto fuel selector, auto. Alright, and now check that auto selector is extinguished. Actually, let's see. Oh, that's where it is. And auto fuel selector shift. So the auto fuel selector basically shifts the fuel tank every number of seconds, like 15 or every now and then. But you can also click it and to manually shift it. Let me demonstrate that. So I click the shift button and boom, it switched. Boom, it switched. So that is tested. Engine instruments, they're all here, so that's very easy to find them in this row. So they're all looking okay. I still haven't played with this guy. It has a ton of data it can show, but I'll leave it for another day. ITT test hold. So ITT test is here. We press it, it goes up. We see the master warning. We see the ITT on the annunciator panel over here, and the needle is all the way up, and the numbers are all illuminated to all segments. Also note that the first one only has a 1, so they saved them 7 segments. GG. Alright, cancel that, we are good. Also, I think the convention is that the master warning... Hang on. I think the master caution So now it's blinking, and when I end the condition, it doesn't stop blinking, so it just tells me something was there. And same is for the master. It's showing ATT, but it will be blinking until we cancel it. Right. It was illuminated, needle was functioning, exterior lights as required, so let's get the nav lights. We are before starting. And that's it. So I'll go to starting engine GPU. I have never done this, so we are in for a ride. It's taking forever. I guess a well-trained, qualified pilot on this aircraft. Well, in Europe you need to get type rating for these aircrafts, so you'll be well-trained. In US, I think it's a bit different. You just get single engine turbine and you can just jump in, and you can see that it's taking forever when you haven't practiced. Right, manual override is here in the off position. It's getting difficult to see anything, so I'll get the lights a bit up. Power lever is in the flight idle. Oh, see the fuel selector just jumped there. Also, I got those levers, but well, they're not super solid. I need to get some super glue in there. So power lever is in flight idle, and I think it's important for the startup to have it in flight idle, not in ground idle. Proper PM max forward. Condition lever is cut off. So selector is GPU. It is GPU. Battery of GPU annunciator illuminated battery of illuminated. So we are getting into sunset. It's gonna be great. Voltmeter around 28 volts. So that looks about right. Just remember the parallax effect because we are sitting so far to the side. Auxiliary boost pump on. I'll try to make this speak a bit quieter so my throat has an easier time. We'll see how this works. Aux boost on. And I just saw something went on here or off. Auxiliary boost on illuminated. There we go. Fuel pressure annunciator extinguished. Okay. Fuel pressure is in the green. Ignition auto. And I think I would normally step on the pedal, so I'm sure the brakes are on, as I do in every J-plane. And see, this area here is a bit dark. It's so that those lights are simply not on. I don't know. So look, those lights are on. And those lights don't seem to be illuminated, so maybe that's causing the problem. I'm not sure if there's anything else that I can turn them on. Maybe that's something that's not working correctly. I'm not absolutely sure about that. Right, we get the ignition to auto. It's in auto already. Alright, now it's gonna run a bit fast, so I'll keep the whole page in view here. I think we're gonna be just fine to do that. So it's super dark there. Starter to on, and you see the lights dimmed, the volts jump there. Alright, starter is flashing. Ignition annunciator is illuminated. Gas generator 13, so it just went 13 or maximum. So that's where we are at. Condition lever low idle. Boom. ITT below 8, 17, 20 seconds and max 1090. Alright, so we didn't go to the 90 and we are below at A17. Starter off at 50% NG. Ooh, so I was a bit late with that. I probably should have taken more attention, and the volts jump back up. Oh no, the other is running. Oil pressure extinguished. Source selector battery. Battery off extinguished. I'll cancel this master caution. Proper lever feather. I see. So that's so anyone can safely go there. So that's interesting. We start up the engine with propeller full forward, but then we feather it only to have anyone give anyone out a chance to safely disconnect it. So now the propeller stopped, well, somewhat stopped. We need to get the GPU disconnected. I'm not sure if I can do that in the sim. Also interesting that the animation is not showing the propeller feathered correctly. So GPU disconnected, GPU is off. I'm not sure if I can get the guy out of there, so we'll pretend. Propeller lever max forward. Condition lever high idle. Engine instruments green. This in yellow where we want it to be. Green, 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 green. Boost pump auto. Auxiliary boost pump annunciation extinguished. Fuel pressure extinguished. Mine generator extinguished. Voltmeter around 28. Ammeter should be in the plus. Just remember the parallax effect again. Yeah, it's just a touch in the plus. It's not in the minus, so let's say okay. And we're done. After starting engine, gyro instruments all on, and I believe there are section-based gyro instrument. So now we'll see this one coming on. Also, I think this will sync with our magnetic heading. Come on, yeah, this popped in. Gyro section is in the green here. Gyro slaving slave. So this directional indicator is gyro driven, so it doesn't have all the problems the magnetic indicator has. And there's a magnetometer somewhere on the plane, and it's comparing the value of what is here to what the magnetometer is reading, and basically moving the card so it's where you want it to be. In case it doesn't work, or you're flying above the North or South Pole, you can put it to 3 and you can rotate this manually. And I believe this white line shows you how much the card is off from the magnetometer readings. So normally it should be in the center, unless there is something wrong and you need to manually operate that. So now I put it to slave and see, it will automatically come back where it should be. Probe DIs. Alright, so now we're checking all the DIs. Probe DIs on, and we see the light. And off. Now left and right windshield heat. So on and green. Off. Right, on and green, and off. And here's where I had the problem before, but I think maybe I just didn't... Oh, I think that's a problem here in the checklist. So we have the airframe DIs, check on green cycles, and you put that on and nothing happens because you do not have the bleed on. I put the bleed on and it's working. So that seems to be one issue with the checklist. Hang on, I'll put a notepad and note this down. So we have overhead instrument lights, and we have air from the ice check before bleed. In after start checklist. Right, so we check that, we turning on the bleed, air and off, inertia separator on. So if you don't know, the way it works is that the planes take the air here, then air goes all the way back, turns around in a pipe and goes through the turbine. And what's interesting, this turbine is sitting like opposite. So if it was a jet engine, it will be sitting opposite direction. So the air intake is on the back and the exhaust is in the front. Basically the whole turbine is sitting backwards compared to when it will be in a jet. And then over this tight turn you have an inertia separator. So understand there is a flap there that opens and every solid particle will just pop back out, because it won't make it on this tight turn. And we do this to safeguard the turbine from any objects that will suck in, like debris, ice, whatnot. Right, we keep it on. Amateur below 50. So it is below 50. Generator source standby. And so we are checking if the second generator works. So volts around 28. Amateur 0 charging. And back to main. Flaps up. And that's only when we do the flaps up. So it's quite late in the process. Tack, tack, they're up. And we can see them driving up. So the whole reason to have them down was to make them safe from the stairs, I believe. Right, flaps are up. Fan flow, well, bleeder auto. So that's when we turn the blades to auto. Fan flow as required. Let's put it to auto. And cabin temp, I like having it around 21. So I'm not sweating. Air conditioning on. I super like how it's all logically distributed around the panel and there are those white borders. Bango with the sub! Thank you! How are you doing? Great to see you. I'm back there after a long break. We are flying in my place, which you have seen before. Welcome, welcome. I hope you're well. Any questions, let me know. I super love that. Ooh, the TBM, yeah, it's nice. And we've been going through all the checklists, so it's been 1 hour already. Unless you are super experienced with the plane and you just do it tack, 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 tack. That's really how long it takes when you need to think about each and everything. I also like to talk a bit about what I'm doing, so it's taking more time, but I super enjoy it. Any questions, let me know. Anything I do wrong, let me know. I'm happy about it. Right, air conditioning is on. Cabin temperature set. I set it to 21-ish. Bango is second, GG. Airflow distributor as required, so that's the one. I'll put it in the middle so we have a bit on the defog in case there's anything going on the windshield. And a bit on the cabin, so I'll just put it 12 o'clock. Cabin altitude, and that's the one where I struggled so far. So cabin altitude set it field elevation minus 500. Our elevation is 400. I'll just hit the B and hit the B and yeah, we're reading 400. And we want to set it to basically slightly below sea level. So I think after the previous flight we would have left it. I think we would have left it here on the previous flight, or maybe even here, 1000 above elevation. So now we want to put it on the minus 500 and climb rate on up. Right, so it's not doing anything. And the cabin rate here on up. I'm not sure what it's indicating. So that's all the way up and that's all the way down. Ah, so that is 0, that is down, and that is up, and the ad is running. I'm not sure I'm not getting those indications that ad will be in a moment there. So I was having trouble with this before. So 12 o'clock is 0, left seems to be down, right seems to be up. And if I drive this, nothing is changing here, I believe, at the moment. So we'll see about that. Right, so we need like minus 100. So that's set. Cabin climb rate arrow up. Or is it just supposed to indicate up? Let's think. No, I'm not sure. Let's see where it points at. Yeah, it points at this small arrow. Alright. Weather radar standby. So we put it on standby. I think we missed a step. Well, it will only go on as soon as we turn on the radar master. So I would normally do this the opposite way. First have the master on, have those guys off, and once the master on, radar master on, is have this guy on and this guy on. Well, standby. Now see, all of them went up. We'll be doing IFR, so let's put 2000. And also in the Bendix, well, this radar, we also have the failures. So we can see our engine condition is 100%. We have option to refill oxygen. We have the failure rates on normal, and we can see if there's anything active. No. Right, back to standby. Get this guy on. Also, I like that the transponder will switch to night mode once it's actually dark. Basically, the background will be black and the letters will be green. This on, F is master. So we have those guys. I think they're CRT screens. And they're super nice, so we get them on. It's here. It makes this weird sound, and it will get its gyro aligned. Well, self-test and then aligned. It will take a bit. AP trim and master. So that's here and both on. Now autopilot is going through self-test after returning done. Right, F is attitude and heading reference system. A, H, RS. I'm sure I have to say it quickly in English. Should be on left. The switch is here, so we have the left and right. So there's apparently two systems, so it has backup. Electric trim, test and set. Alright. So there's few ways to do that. One way, you can just operate those switches. And we see that the rudder trim is moving. Note that the rudder takeoff position is super far to the right. Now I have it bound on my yoke as well, so let's put it to takeoff position. The elevator trim, I think I'll just put it in the middle of the green field. And we have also the aileron trim, which is also electric. So that works here. And I'll try to put it in the middle with controls on my yoke. Is there a crosswind? There's always a crosswind. Unless it's dead on headwind or no wind. Let's see. Yep. So, well, that's where we're sitting. I think we'll have a crosswind on takeoff as well. But we are not there yet. Also, one tiny detail that I super like is that the airflow from the propeller is interfering with the static source, and that's why this is going up and down. Yeah, it is pretty lovely. So, crosswind or not, this is going up and down because of the airflow from the prop. But you're right, if there's any wind on ground, the static source will be impacted as well, and you'll see it doing this. And also we have the control wheel steering, which I think is still, well, they said in update you can click it and to lock the pitch and roll for the autopilot, so we'll try it later, but still not doing what it does in real plane. Attention to detail in this thing, yeah, it's real nice, although I think I caught few things slightly off, but nothing deal breaking. And it's the first one where I actually wants to go through the checklist. It's pretty nice. Right, so that's done, and we are ready to taxi, so the rest is just what we do to test right after we start rolling. So I think I thought of that those arrows, when they're indicating that the source is off, they should be horizontally to the right, and also the colors are swapped for whatever reason. But that should be easy fix. I'll take a note. But yeah, the plane is super nice, and it has for me just the perfect mix between new kind of instruments and the old kind of instruments. So you have those digital instruments, but we do consider them quite old at this point. And we have the RNAV capability, but all in all, it's basically steam plane. One thing I wanted to mention about the altimeter. So we see this one is a bit different from the other one. And the other one is, I believe, purely mechanical. So there is a membrane. Well, there's like a can, and static pressure goes in. This is, I think, submerged in vacuum. So this can expands depending on the static pressure, drive some mechanical elements that are then driving the arrows that are calibrated to show pressure altitude. I can actually show that because I have that somewhere. Hang on. Have it here. Boom. So I took this from ICAO data. Calibration goes into something like that. Must be difficult. Well, it's just gears and whatnot, so it's mechanically done to show correctly, and you take this instrument out every now and then, and you test it in a test chamber. So you have test chamber that will drive correct pressure, and you check the readings. That's pretty much it. I guess there is something inside to adjust it, but that's something I'm not allowed to touch anyway. So this is a bit rounded, so that's not exact ones, but it's a good thing to remember this. So I remember that flight level 100 is 700 hectopascals, and well, one just looks like a 7. So I don't remember all of them. I usually remember the flight level 50 is 850, 100 is 700. I think I forgot all of them. Flight level 300 is 300 hectopascals in standard atmosphere, that is. But when your altimeter is showing flight level 300, it means you're flying on 300 hectopascal layer, which may not correspond to real altitude because you're just reading your pressure altitude. So that's the one. You can take it from here. It isn't the exact numbers. It's a bit rounded, and of course the altimeter will be using the exact ones. This is more for the meteorology, to be honest. Because whenever you have meteo charts, they will be showing the levels in hectopascals. Hang on, I can show that. Because, well, whatever the meta model is calculating, it's natively done in hectopascals, not in meters or whatnot. Well, okay, there is a bit of a difference, so I'll try to show you in a sec. Hang on, it's loading up. So, this one is mechanical, and there's one interesting thing about this instrument. Because it's mechanical, this pressure needs to drive all these gears and cams, and it has a bit of a lag. So when you're a flying glider, or you might have just changed your altitude a bit, and it's still might have not caught up, you can tap on the glass gently, and it will pop back to what's the current altitude. So when I'm flying gliders, I often popping on the glass gently, not to break it. It's quite a bit of fun. Hang on, I'm having some struggle here with the ad blocker on the side. So I will just try to disable it on the same I'm trying to open. Right, I actually don't want that. Hang on. It's proving more difficult than it should be. Right, I managed to get it. So. If you look at the charts, that's the chart that is probably the most informative, and you can see that it's 500 hectopascal chart. So it gives you the pressure, all the black lines are the pressure. Right, it's a different thing. So it's how do I explain that? You take the 500 hectopascal layer, and then you see this 500 hectopascal to what altitude it corresponds in meters. But this is not geometric meters, it's geopotential meters. If you want, I can explain that. If not, I'll do that another day. So basically, get forked. Oh, it's a fork. It's a fork. Thank you for the raid. It's been a while. I'm back. Welcome riders, welcome fork. I am Vex. I'm flying planes. You can read all about me below. I've been flying some planes in real life as well. We've been live for almost 1.5 hours, and we've just started the engine, so you're in for a ride. Fork. Thank you. How have you been? I hope you had a good week. I know we had a ton of go-arounds and whatnot, but just so you know, we spared you the go-around after the long-haul flight. Who do we have? Forky with the raid. Whoa, we've got a sap just like that. Hang on. You guys are too fast. Mother of God, your braid become more glorious. Yeah, it is. It's been way more glorious in the past. It's been like this long. Whoa! Hang on. I'm overwhelmed with the alerts, so I'll read them in a second. How the hell have I missed your stream? I don't know. I've been here all around. Also, to be fair, I haven't been streaming recently a lot. Who is there to welcome? I think you guys still read them the third. Bengo, welcome. Ten, welcome. Forky, welcome. Oh dear, Lily Diffused, welcome. Great to see you. Right, Infect, welcome. Right, that's pretty much everyone. And thank you for the 100 beats, love cheer. Whoa, thank you. Who do we have else? Diffuse, thank you for Little Diffuse, thank you for the follow. In fact, thank you for the sap. That was quick. Is that a sap? Wait. I think it is. It is. Thank you. And thank you for the follow. Also, I had 2 follows when I was offline. Dear Play, thank you for the follow. And Yeah, boy, QB. Thank you. And there's Forky, here's your shoutout. I super like these auto shoutouts, they're fantastic. Q. Also, if you don't know, we're flying in a place where I live at the moment. Wrong button. And we have a scenery from Drzewiecki design. Drzewiecki is how you say it. And yeah, there's the terminal, which looks super nice. There's a sprinter, which is usually standing here. And they also added some buildings in the city skyline, which I absolutely love. So there is Sky Tower, there is the power plant, and we have some churches and whatnot. Right, scenery looks great. Yeah, it is pretty nice, I like it. Drzewiecki is from Poland, they are doing a lot of Polish airports. I listed them on the announcement. There's a ton, I've been surprised. So, the altimeter on the right is mechanical, and you can tap on it to make it synchronize, well, just get rid of the lag. The one on the left is not so much mechanical. So instead of this can that is driven by the static pressure, well, there is still the can, but it's not driving all the gears. It just has an electromagnetic pickup. So there's a magnet, and there is another magnet driven by a servo. So when this one moves, the electric servo is trying to follow it. And this reduces the force that from all these gears on that can. Well, it's called the membrane or whatnot, and it makes it A, way more precise, B, very much faster in response. So that's the main reason we're sealing those digital gauges. It's because it's internally electronic, if that makes any sense. I hope you understood that. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Right, we'll get through the last tax. Oh, so we'll just be taxing. Oh, unbelievable! I'll lock my chair and we'll be ready taxing. Hang on, I'll be back in a sec. And I'm back. Alright, does it feel like a good position? I can reach the pedals. Yeah, so what happened is my chair, I got the special wheels for them that I can lock. And it's making flying way more easy, because when I push on the brakes, I'm not sliding back and losing control of everything and whatnot. Right, so it seems that those lights are not working for whatever reason. Alright, what do we do? We haven't checked where you're flying, so damn. Let's just taxi. I need to find a better solution to stop my rudder pedals from slipping. I do use, it's called acrylic tape. It doesn't have any glue, it's just, you know, adhesion. And I do put it between my rudder pedals and floor. Just on the first time, I used way too much of this tape, and when I tried to get them out, I ripped a bit of the floor. So be careful with that, but I can super recommend this. I stick all my joysticks and whatnot to the desk with that. Just be gentle, like 1 by 2 centimeter piece, 4 of them is enough. For joysticks, for rather like maybe a bit more. So it's pretty cheap, you can test it, maybe you like it, maybe you won't. Right, I'll step in the brakes. Let's see, say we are at taxi light on. Right, so that's on, inertia separator is illuminated, parking brake release. Whoa. Oh, I also bumped the throttle, great. Park brake extinguished. And toe brakes, yeah, we can check them. So I'll go to Grand Idle so we're not rocketing out like that. One thing I also noticed, and others as well, is that the taxi and lighting lights are a bit dark, so I'll take note of that as well. There is an ad running. So we'll wait for everyone to come back. They should be back any moment. I'll just start rolling. I remember the airport by heart at this point, so we can just taxi. Yeah, that is over. Welcome back. I turned on that because that's what everyone else is doing. So instead of having the pre-roll ads, we just have the mid-roll ads. So I hope you're fine with that. I'll try not to do anything super important, but when they're running, but unfortunately I don't have the notification it's about to hit. So we just started taxiing. I just got out of the place where we did the startup. It took us only 1.5 hours. So you see that sometimes taking the car may be the faster option. And we'll just exit the runway and get to the next checklist. Right, trying to stay on the yellow line, doing the dance all the time. Also driving the plane. The plane seems to be unstable compared to cars. I don't fully understand why, but you need to dance those rudders all the time when you're taxiing. Oh, also remember, in real aircraft like this, usually the nose gear is hard linked to the pedals, so you cannot move the pedals unless you're rolling, or you will damage the system. And the Sky Tower can be seen there in the back. This skyscraper is called Sky Tower, and we have only one of those. One of it actually in the city. It's pretty nice. Is that the DX12 back, or is it just different pavement? It is different pavement. Right, we do have stopper here. Okay, it's not stopper because it will just be blinking. I'm not sure if in real life they have a stopper or just those, well, holding point lights. So the stopper will be just red, not blinking, and then unless it's red, unless it gets off, you cannot cross it. But normally what you have is just those blinking lights, and you get a clearance, you just cross it. So there's the old terminal, which is now G8 terminal, and there's the new terminal with some static planes in it. Right, I'll set the parking brake. We have parking brake, cancel that so it's not blinking my eye like crazy. And we've got 2 billion things to check here. So don't worry, we'll be flying before midnight. Parking brake set, annunciator eliminated, terrain test push. Huh, where is that? Also, any questions, let me know. Anything I do wrong, let me know. Feel free to talk. Oh, we need to test this guy. Where are you? Oh, here we are. Terrain test.
Sync rate.
Right, I'm getting all those annotations.
Don't sync. 500. Pause system test. Okay.
Toast system test. Okay, great. That's what I like to hear. Test warning lights. Do you mean those guys? Hang on. Oh, annunciator. Alright, so they're all lighting up. Now here's the interesting one. I'll get the headlight. Also, I've been flying with a headlight in the real plane. It looks very funny. Especially when you don't take off your high-vis jacket, you look super awkward. So power level 1900 RPM. So let's put it like that. Okay, wait, you can see that. So 1900 will be 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That's here. Now the turboprop does have a lot of lag. So it takes some practice to get that right on the spot where we want it because of the lag. And that's implemented here very well. Alright, it's 1900-ish. Now propeller to feather. So I just put it in feather and back very quickly. And what we want to see that the governor is changing the RPM, but we don't want to go to feather. So boom, feather, it's dropping and back up. So that's working. That's all I want to test here. And keep it, I think, in the green range. It doesn't say. Now there's prop governor test. So we hold it to test. I think that was somewhere here. Yeah, prop overspeed test. Now overspeed doesn't mean that it's overspeeding. It's more about how constant speed prop operates. Constant speed prop can be in three states. It's either in overspeed condition, on speed condition, or underspeed condition. And when then it drives the system to basically move it to on speed condition. So it doesn't mean that it's overspeeding as in being above the red line. It just means that we put it to, well, it's just higher than we commanded it to be. So now we can test that, and we hold it, and the prop RPM should drop to 1800, and then release. It should go back to 1900. So boom, it's dropping to around 1800. We release, and it's going back up. So I'm not exactly sure what the system is testing, but something about this. Right, release. 1900 power level flight idle. So now the problem is the flight idle is here when the bottom of the throttle is meeting this line, and this is ground idle. It's a bit hard to remember in my hardware where that is, so I'll try to do my best, but fear not, it's not a problem in this plane. Right, flight idle, fuel imbalance. We're in balance and we've burned so many gallons already. Disgusting. Auto fuel selector is in auto. Auxiliary boost pump is in auto. Auto fuel selector, they're both same, so I won't be shifting. Flaps as required. I will put them to takeoff position. I hope you're having fun. I'm taking forever to do this, and I love it. So if there's anything you want to learn, please let me know. If I don't know the answer, I will dig it up for you. The pitot and stall, so that's on. The icing systems as required. Right, outside the temperature is 10, so we don't need anything at the moment. Also, let's check the ice light. It should be... yeah, just illuminating the leading edge here. Whoa, I kept this guy off. I forgot to turn it off after the test. Inertia separator, will keep it on for takeoff. Right, advisory panel, all off except inertia separator and parking brake. Perfect. So that's working fine. Engine instruments, check. So green, that's correct. Green, 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 green. It actually takes some practice, just look here and say it's okay, just to go through each and every one of them and see if it's actually in the correct place where it should be. I had the habit initially just look there and say, oh, it's okay, but then I thought, it's probably a bad idea, I should probably just stop and have a look. So I just did like, look, okay, 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 okay. It takes a while, so. Light controls, free and correct. When you're doing this in a real plane and you have a passenger or instructor, you are very likely at this time to hit them with the yoke, because it will most likely go into their knee. And now what you want to do is check if you have free range of movement and if you don't feel anything strange in the system itself. So it should be smooth and you should have the full range, like your knee is not in the way and whatnot. Because if it is and you need this deflection and you find it when you are in the air, you are toast. And yeah, I'm guilty of doing this once in a glider. It's not been fun. So just let them know. I'm checking the yoke. Please move the knee. They will not move it. So just be gentle. And now the way I do that is... So, maybe let me wait for that to break. For that break to end. I'm talking gibberish today. Yay, the ad is over. So tell the guy or girl or whoever next to you that you'll be testing it. They will not move their knees anyway, so just be gentle and give them a chance to move them away. Don't hit them too hard. So I think people usually do that by just pulling and pushing and just doing left and right. And I'm not very happy about it, because what can happen is that, for example, in full pull and full right, there could be something blocking you. So what I recommend is to pull it, pull right, keep full right, push it all the way, pull left, and pull it back all the way. Now we have checked the whole envelope, so now we're pretty sure nothing is blocking you in any position. So that's how I recommend to do it, and yeah, it's kind of important. Also, when you have a chance, it is nice to look if the surfaces are deflecting the way you want them to, but to be fair, usually you don't really have a chance. Amateur below 50. Remember, when amateur is in the plus, it's charging. When it's in the minus, it's discharging. So it's showing the amps taken from the battery, not the amps in the system itself. So it's more about telling you if your battery is charging or discharging. And normal states most of the time should be slightly charging, so 0 or slight positive. Alright, I think we're almost ready to go. And we didn't even check on where we are flying. This is going great. So we're going from Wrocław to Wrocław. What happened here? Didn't work. Now it worked. Hang on. Going back to the same place. So we did taxi. Also, Navigraph now has all of these fancy telemetry things. I added, for example, the climb gradient and rate of turn because I'm super interested in it. Climb gradient is not something you often see, so I like having some visibility now. We taxied from apron 4 to this whole shoreline. So what we'll do, we'll just select some... Alright, let's do it right. Let's check the weather. Wind 130 at 10, so we are with a total tailwind because I'm dummy and taxied to the wrong runway, because that's where the prevailing winds during the year are. So we'll try to take off with this tailwind and we'll see what happens. I would never ever dare to do that in a real plane. Havoc, which in Europe means there is visibility 10 or more kilometers and no clouds below 5,000 above aerodrome level, or minimal vectoring altitude, whichever is higher. Which is different to what they do in the US, because they will say, for example, cloud broken 20,000, and we don't do that here. We'll just say Havoc. Also, the sky is full gray. Temperature 9, dew point 5, QNH 90902, which also means that our 0 isotherm will be at altitude. Now, it's 2 degrees ish, 1.98 degrees per 1,000 feet. So that's gonna be 4,500. So that gives me some information about the using of the ITN system. And the TAF, valid between 15 Zulu today and 15 Zulu tomorrow, wind 160 at 12, 10 or more kilometers, fear 037, probability 40%, tempo, which means it will be... I forgot what the exact numbers. The phenomenon will be no longer than 30 minutes or an hour. I forgot it actually. And it will not take more than half of the time of the whole period. And this can happen multiple times in the period. So... And tomorrow, alright, so that's not relevant to us, between 2 UTC and 7 UTC, is a bit per 1000, light rain and mist. So it means it can happen occasionally during that period, no longer than half an hour or 1 hour each time, and altogether no longer than half of the whole period. And one time I saw them adding 2 tempos on a very foggy night, and the actual weather was like alternating between one and the second the whole night, which was super bizarre because the main condition was pretty okay, but the 2 tempos were pretty bad and the whole night was pretty bad, just conveniently alternating between those 2 conditions for whatever reason. And becoming tomorrow between 11 and 14 Zulu. So that means the weather will change and it will start changing and will reach that full state between 11 and 14. Wind just to 0 at 12. Right, so nothing special. The thing I told you earlier about the altitudes, we can also go to weather here. And you can select the levels here. So in aviation it will give you in flight levels because that's the pressure altitude, but if you're reading any meteor charts, it will actually be given in hectopascals. So say for example this one. Actually let's take 180. I'll tell you why it's important in a second. And to go back to here. So we got our 500 hectopascal chart. Now 500 corresponds to light level 180. And the reason it's important because it's basically halfway in the atmosphere. It means half of the mass of the air is below you, half of it is above you. So that's kind of important. And now what happens, those black lines are how high in geopotential meters this 500 hectopascal is. And basically wind in this layer will overlap with the black lines. So your weather systems will be moving on those black lines. So if you see, let's for example take this high. So this high, the white lines are on the ground, so that's ground pressure, and this high pressure system will be moving along the black lines. So that's why the 500 level is important, and that will be starting in 1 minute. Okay. And in metal you will get everything in the hectopascals, and in aviation you will usually get everything in flight levels, which is the same thing if you get this this table. So I hope you like it. And if you want to check it, it's from the ICAO, so seems like a reasonable source. The link is in the chat. Okay. What we'll do next? We'll just take off and do some approaches. Yay! So we need some approaches. Alright, let's pin it. We'll pin the VR11 and we'll pin ILS localizer 29er. So we'll start with the ILS localizer 29er. I won't be landing because of the tailwind, but we can still do the approach. And then we'll try to do VR runway 19er. So I need to set up all my radios, which I should have done earlier, but I forgot. Yeah, 2 hours mark, still on the ground. That's the record. I love it. I love it. Oh, and I said Kavok is below when there is no clouds below. Well, yeah, no clouds below 5,000 feet above our drum level, or minimum vector rank altitude, and minimum vector rank altitude chart is here. within, I don't remember how many miles, maybe 25, just like this line. Oh, or 20. I'm not actually sure. Something for me to check. Alright, so localizer is 110.3, that's running, and VR is 111.65. I'll set them up. So I'll just put this into traffic mode and make sure we are actually seeing traffic. Is anyone actually flying along? I'm not sure I've seen anyone. Nobody here. Cool. Yay, everyone is back. So setting this up, I switched to traffic mode, so I don't see the chart. It will be more difficult for me. I hope it will be fine for you to see what's going. And 110. Oh, first click it. 110.3. 11165. Jeez, I've been thinking forever, and we are still not flying, and it's great. Right, I think we'll just climb on the VR. So I'll put it here. Now on the nav2, I will put the same thing, so we have it ready. Boom, and 11165. Alright. So we are on nav1, ILS on nav2. Now I need my runway heading. The runway heading to 901. Also one note about the elevation. The elevation you see on the chart is highest elevation within the airport movement area for the aircraft. So it will be higher than any runway, or not lower. And you see elevation is 406, and then when you look at the runways elevation, runway threshold, 29 is 401 and 11 is 404, runway not found. So it's important to always look at the two numbers, the airport elevation, and to look at your threshold elevation in case it's substantially lower than the airport elevation. It can make a difference. I was about the runway heading. Here we are, 291. So what I do, I will set up my heading back to be on 291. Conveniently, it does display the number, and any questions, let me know. 291. So if I have it, it will be easier for me to fly where I want. And now the course. So we are in GPS mode. I don't want that. I want to be in VLOC mode. So VR or localizer. And I will set this to 291 as well. So we'll fly it outbound on that and climb on that. Right. What we can do here is we can alternate between nav1 and nav2. Or we can also go to GPS or RNAV. And RNAV will use this instrument, which I love, but maybe I'll show it to you a bit later. And the HSI, I'm not sure if it's doing anything. There's also MLS, which is microwave landing system, which was supposed to be better than ILS, and it is. It just has never been widely adopted. And basically RNAV is doing same thing or better now, so never gonna work. And we also have the ADF. Right, also set enough to in the same one, so we have it ready for later. Way I always set it is, because you cannot see the exact value between the lines, so I put it on the mark, the arrow is on the mark, and now do one click, so that's 291. Note that the second panel is synchronized, so the heading VAC and the course is synchronized with nav1. Right, 400 here, 400 here, There's a slight difference between them. And let's hit the B. Also, fortunately, I'm in the hectopascal, 2 inches of mercury, so I don't think I can change that. So that's actually the parallax effect that we are seeing different value on the other side, I believe. I don't think we have any NDB in the area, so we won't be able to use that for navigation, but ADF is still pointing to the VR, which is fun. Hey, we do have someone flying there. So let's line up the runway and then we'll check the next checklist. Parking brake released, parking brake initiation extinguished, strobe lights on. Let's roll. So following the line, and we do see alternating green and yellow lights here on the lineup portion of the taxiway. So there's the runway. Try to read the numbers. Oh, it says 29er. Just barely. Alright, I'll stop here. And because things are going to happen super fast, I will just hit the health checklist now. It's only 21 items, so we're gonna be fine. Right, HSI compass, check. So it's showing where we set it before, 2901, 2901, and most importantly, check with the magnetic compass, 2901. So there's 3029er and give or take 2901. Altitude 400 here, 400 there. Oh, sorry, attitude. So that is checked here, and that is checked here and here. One note for myself, the 0 is when it looks like that, interestingly. So when the white line is just sitting on top of this notch in the yellow, that's the 0 degree attitude, which is something I'll need later. Whereas the other ones I can adjust manually. Altitude selector is set, so we'll set it to 3000. Our MSA is a bit higher. But if you look at our minimum vectoring altitudes, I am intending to stay, well, within this larger box of 2700, so we should be okay. Weather radar on. We have never tested it. I think there is something more that we have never tested, or maybe not. Landing lights on. They're very hard to reach here, which is a bit unfortunate. Ignition we keep off. There is no precipitation. Interior lights dim for takeoff. Okay. Can do that. I think that's gonna work. Cabin lights off, so we have hit this override. So if anyone has light on in the cabin, we'll just override it to off. I'll get. We can keep the second person. Right, next things will happen quickly. So we have parking brake release, parking. That's actually done. Annunciation extinguished, taxi onto the runway, advisory panel, all off except ignition and inertia separator. Ignition is off because we chose not to have it. Power lever 100% torque. Just remember it has a huge lag, so I believe in real plane you will have some muscle memory where it is. Then we'll reach the rotation speed, which I don't know what it is in this plane, so we'll do 80 knots. That's my guesstimate. I don't want to check the manual right now. Positive rate, gear up, flaps retract, and then when flaps are up we go to 850 mode, which I have a hard time doing because it's somewhere down there. And then we can advance the torque and we can go into autopilot if we want. Will we do that? I think we may want to do that. Taxi lights off and landing lights as required. Alright, and then there is the climb checklist. So I think maybe we'll go into hold over the VR. Ad is braking in a sec, so we'll be ready to go. Ad is back, we're ready to go. So I release the brakes, advancing this power lever. Right, it's 90, I wanted at 100. There we go, trying to keep the center line. I have my toes on the pedals in case I need to brake. Airspeed alive. Danger! There's 80 knots, so rotate, pull it back. Please, come on, unstick. Alright, it's up. I'll say let's start with the 10-degree pitch. Positive climb. Gear up. Right, I'll try to keep the airspeed around between 100 and 120, so seems 10-degree pitch will do the job. I need to trim up a lot. Right, flaps up. There's flaps. Alright, when flaps are up, I need to pull back even more. There is flaps indication here. And now we can go into the 850 mode, which I have a hard time doing. So now it's there. And now we can advance throttle all the way up to the red line if you want. And this thing will be a rocket. Right, we don't need the lights anymore, so let's get them off. Right, let's climb to 3000 feet. And we'll get back over the VR and do the holding maybe there. Right, I'm flying on the honeycomb yoke and it feels much better on this yoke. So when we level up, this thing is gonna be a rocket. We probably don't want to do if we want to halt. So maybe let's not do the halt, we'll just fly downwind like the ATC would vector us normally. There's no ATC, so nothing to do here. Alright, let's maybe get this autopilot done. Alright, autopilot done. I maybe should have done the flight director first. So it's in the roll and pitch mode. Now I think, oh dear, I don't see where the control wheel steering button is. So I can override this and hit the control wheel steering button, and it should reset. Maybe it only works for the pitch. Whoa, the altitude is not where it should be. Maybe I need to turn autopilot off, and now when we have only the flight director, try to hit that control wheel steering. I don't think it's setting pitch where we are. So there is the light, but it's not doing anything. Boo. Right. Get the flight director off and on again. It's not doing anything I want. So I'll just dial in the heading perpendicular to my course. And we'll try to... Oh, alright, let's stay at 4000 feet then. I totally busted that. So, strike one, busted the altitude by quite a bit. Right. Just get the flight director into heading mode and altitude mode, but the altitude will capture whatever is when I pressed it. Right, we'll fly like that for a bit. I will open this chart so we see where we are going. I'm just intending to stay within this smaller box. 2700, well, the medium box. And next there is the climb checklist, which we'll not have time to do. Right, we can turn back left, so we'll be flying parallel to our localizer course, give or take. Now remember, when I hit altitude mode, it remembered whatever altitude was there at the time, so it's not capturing the pre-selected one. So now I need to go to vertical speed mode, which is not here, it's only here. So I engage the VS, press that, and just reduce it so it starts the descent and will capture the 4000. Alright, climb checklist, power lever, observe limits. So we're okay. As far as I remember from the manual, this plane stays at 2000 RPM all the time. Cabin altitude, cruise altitude plus 1000, so let's set it to 5000. And now it's showing the climb. Quite a strong one, so maybe you want a bit lower. So let's keep it here. Cabin climb rate between 500 and 700. Oh, almost worked. Cabin differential monitor, so that's the PSI here. It shows the cabin, well, the pressure difference between cabin and outside, and it's limited to 6 and a bit. Fuel quantity. Oh, there's a bit of imbalance. We want to be on the right for a bit. And inertial separator off. We don't need any other de-icing at the moment. Right, let's see. The DME is decreasing, so we still haven't passed the VOR. Alright, we are in the over torque for whatever reason. I'm not sure why it's changed. So we are not doing that because we are not passing the transition altitude of 6500 today, but full flight off, the icing is required. Alright, this cruise. I've never done those checklists, so I want to see. Power lever adjust for performance. So I'll keep it. Rental power, fuel quantity and ballast check. We have less on the right, so I'll switch to manual and switch to the right. So I need to click shift, and now we're on the right. So first shift, then go to manual. Right, that's auto cell, so that's okay. I did that. Nothing here. Next is the descent checklist. Right, we still have a while to go. Actually, we're just passing the VOR. So the flag just switched to the from. There's a flag from, so we are flying away from the VOR on this course. Altimeter is local, that's done. Cabin altitude, field elevation plus 500. So, oh, and see the transponder, which I forgot, so it's not on checklist. I took a note on that. So cabin altitude, let's decrease it to 1100, so it's 500 over the elevation, and we see it's going down. Right, pulse lights on, interesting. The icing don't need anything, inertia separator will do it later, airflow distributors. Okay, Okay, no ignition, fuel, we checked, and we shifted to fullest. Right, I think it's almost no imbalance, so I'll switch to auto. Let's see what's in the before landing. So we are looking to go out to, let's see. There's Whiskey Romeo 703 at 13 miles. So we're looking to be a bit further than that. And no further than 17 miles. This is from the DME from the localizer, but since we are fairly close, almost collocated, I will just use DME from the other for the time being. Right, let's see what's in the before landing. Cabin lights off, altimeters check, decision height. We don't do decision height, we only do decision altitude, so nothing to set. Inertia separator on under 200 knots. I see. Propeller max RPM. Landing gear down under 178, and then flaps under 178. Landing lights as required. Autopilot disconnect, press once. Flaps full under 122. Right, so that's where we are. Also, our decision altitude is 601, so remember that. I'll give that just a moment. I'll start slowing down. So I'll put it to maybe 50% torque. Get out of the 850 mode. Right, that's where we are, so I can start turning now. So first left 90, and then I'll try to eyeball it here on the chart, so we hit some nice localizer intercept angle. Actually, let's do this in autopilot, so I'll have a chance to go through the checklist. Now, one problem here, which is limitation of the autopilot, is that the approach mode will just go straight to armed. So I'll hit it only when I know it will normally arm. So that's where we are. I think we stayed in the box the whole, well, almost stayed in the box the whole time. I'll get all the lights on as well. I'm having this headlamp on the whole time, but it seems a bit dark in some places when I don't have it. Also, I can adjust the brightness here. So we also have the ILS on the second one, so I see it's still full right deflection, it's not moving on the VR2. Right, I think it's time, so we can turn and have this 30-degree intercept angle. So 2901 plus 30, that will be 220, rounded up, down. Right, the VR is fairly close, but it's not yet on the localizer. So as soon as it starts moving, I will hit the approach button. It's moving, so approach button and let it intercept it. Synchronize the heading button. Oh, also you can click it so it will synchronize with your current heading, but here I know what heading I'm going. Switched enough to the VR. We can see the runway already. We are below the glide slope. Right. Speed check below 178. I'll get flaps first notch and gear down. Flaps takeoff, gear, in transit. Glide slope alive. See what's in the landing checklist. Power lever idle, reverse as required, braking as required, and go around. Power level 100%, flaps approach, landing gear on positive right, flaps retract. Alright, so fairly simple here. Right, I think I'm happy with the checklist, so I'll turn it off. I'll get the inertia separator on below 200 knots. We are fully established on the ILS, but we haven't intercepted the glide slope yet. I'll hit the heading to synchronize it. And down we go. Inertia separator is on. Cancel that. Now, I don't remember the torque I had normally. I think it was around 25%. That was the good number for landing. Split is bleeding off. Speed check, flaps full. Alright. And there's so many other things I want to show in this plane. But we'll get there, maybe. Once we're flying the approach, I'll have a quick look at the VR approach. Alright, so it's just fairly simple, but the initial approach fix is here at 4,500. So I'll set our altitude to that. Right, 25% torque seems great because it's keeping at around 80-90 knots. So let's detach and go. Right, I think it's time to fly it manually. Let's do that. So disconnect the autopilot. I'll get the flight director off, yaw damper off. Our ground speed is, well, around 90 knots, so we need like 400 feet per minute descent. My primary target is the attitude, so I want to be no bank and around 0 pitch, so the bottom, well, this yellow line here should be at the bottom of the white line. Right, we are getting a bit lower. And we are still on the localizer. And 2000 to go, minimum at 601. You are slightly to the right, so correcting, bank to the left. And we are slightly below. So just a touch of this white line, and I'm looking most of the time at the attitude indicator, just looking every now and then at my heading and vertical speed. And then, of course, the localizer indications, which I also have here, so I can actually only keep looking at that, except I need my heading as well. Now slightly above the glide slope. Slightly to the right. I'm not very happy about this runway indicator, it's hard to read for me. Don't see very well when there is a small deflection. Alright, we are getting way to the right. And we are on glide slope, so let's keep that. Good idea is to set your heading back so that it includes the wind correction. It makes it much easier to fly where we want to go. Right, on localizer, so I'll ease off the heading a bit. Heading correction. And the plane is super nice to fly. Getting to the right again. That's super stable here. Oh, we have the ad. 30 seconds, so we'll be fine. I still got on the right, so correcting the left. We are on glide slope. Descending soon. Everything is okay. And time now. And welcome back after the ads. 1,000 to go. Slightly above, correct link. Mm, 900 to go. We are getting way above now. Might be the wind's pushing us. 800 to go. $700 to go. 600 to go. And yeah, we're starting the dance. 500 to go. So the changes in pitch that you need are very, very minor. 400 to go. And look, when you hit the minimums, look how close this is. $300 to go. Getting slightly above, correcting. $200 to go. $100 to go. And minima runway is here. Continue. So we'll do touch and go. Yeah, Nicotine, you don't like that? I'm not sure what to do about them. I got way too high here on the touchdown. Don't worry about it. Also, it's pitch black, so we'll try to do a touchdown here. It will just be a touch and go, so I'll just touch it. Alright, slowly rolling to idle. There we go. And now that's difficult. Torque is 100. Oh geez. Positive climb. Gear up, flaps up one notch, so we're in takeoff. I actually overspeed the flaps here, I think. Don't sink. So keep it at 10 up. Right, I'll get the inertia separator off. I realized there was so much ads on Twitch, had a great working filter for Twitch. Oh, and now it doesn't work? I'm using the Twitch Turbo, so I pay like 10 or 20 euro a month, maybe 15, I don't remember. And I have 0 ads. So I quite like that actually. And I'm not sure what to do about my ads, because either way it's bad. Like when you have the pre-roll ads, it's hurt the new people. When you have the mid-roll ads, it hurts the people who already know me. So what do I do? If you have any thoughts about it, please let me know. Right, we'll switch to the VR on the nav 1. We'll switch to... Actually, we'll keep the VR also on nav 2. It's just today, not just my stream. I see. Actually, my ads, I have them set on a schedule that Twitch recommends, which should be the minimal schedule so that we don't get the pre-roll ads. Now, how that actually works, I have no idea. 1,000 to go. Flaps up. You know what? I'll slow down a bit here. I think after this landing we'll stop on the runway. And I'll need a bit of a breather. Because it's intense. Actually, let's get the flight director. So autopilot on. Let's get us in the VS mode. So it captured whatever we just had. And let's get us in the heading mode. Actually, I do want us in the nav mode. So autopilot, tail damper, nav, alt. Oh dear, it's a bit heady on the intercept here. I'll just do it with the heading. And here we are, leveling 4,500. Let's read the approach, and I think I'll fly the whole approach manually. So, okay. Whiskey Romeo 604 at 4,500. We will do... let me think. We are in this higher sector anyway. So we'll do procedure turn here at Whiskey Romeo 604. I'll do... Let's do 45, 180. So 45 to the right, 1 minute, 180, and back to intercept. And then I will fly the approach normally. Now I think we can go to the nav mode. So let's see about the approach. Whiskey Romeo 604 is at 17.9 miles from the VOR, Whiskey Charlie Lima. I'll just read whatever I need. I don't feel like going through everything today. So the minima we'll be doing CDFA, continuous descent final approach, is 850. Now remember, this is the oh, it actually says the DA for what? What's the one? Interesting that it has the DA not and the MDA. What? Alright, so there's one VNAV DA in lieu of MDA, depends on operator policy. Alright, our operator does not allow that, so we have the MDA. So unlike the ILS, if I don't see the runway, I need to level off at 850, so I need to make the decision a bit earlier than that. That's the important bit. So I'll keep it like that for myself. Alright. So 4,500, then Whiskey Romeo 493 at 3,000, then we can descend to 1,700. And Whiskey Romeo 491 at 7.1 is final approach fixed, so I want to start the descent a bit early, and we're doing 3-degree descent. So I can do that according to ground speed table here, and I'll be doing the checks according to this table. So, that's it. I'll just have the chart open there. I'll just hide my plane position maybe. So we do the procedure turn at 18 miles, 17.9. And I will need my chrono. I think after I go around, I never cleared this up. I think we're all good. So distance 17.1, which means 1 mile to go. I will stay at 150, 160. Actually, I found a chart recently with the aircraft categories, depending on speed and how fast you can, well, how fast what are the speeds that the procedures are designed for. So those speeds should keep us safe within the track that the procedure builder intended for us. Anyway, 18.5 miles. So 45 to the right, so I'll just put it here on the marker, 335. Heading, and start the clock. So we're starting procedure turn, 45 to the right, we'll be doing this for 1 minute. Clock is running, I'll just set my final approach course, 111. So that is set. Alright. Clock is ticking. We are on timer now. I wonder if there's a way to switch to hectopascals here. I don't think there is. 15 seconds to go. As soon as we are on final track, I'll go to manual flying because the VR approaches are kinda difficult. Right, there's 1 minute. I did overshoot that. So 180 to the left. So basically what we are doing, let me show you in Volanta. We're doing the procedure turn, so we're flying out 45 degrees, doing 180 turn, and then we'll intercept that on the VR readings. So now I'm into reading the VR deflection, and I'm already selected the final approach course, 111. Also do it on the SNAF 2, just in case. Just use whatever you have, so that's 110 plus 1 click, 111. Did we mess up a bit here? No, we are just far, so we are still only 4 degrees off. The further we are, the less sensitive the CDI bar will be. Right, then Whiskey Romeo 604 is at 17.9 miles. So I'll be looking for that, and that will be pretty nice capture here. Alright, I'll start now. Alright, I think it's looking great. I think the wind is from the right, so I'll keep 5-degree angle, and we are 3 miles to go. Right, I think I'll start configuring now, so actually we are super far away. Let me think about it for a second. I don't need the chrono anymore, so I'll hide it and reset it. One mile to go. Alright, I want to be configured at 6 miles, so we can stay fast for the time being. Alright, so we are passing that and we can descend 3000. Check vertical speed and put it down. I'll just dial in 1000, that's a nice number to have. I'm in the heading mode, so I need to correct to stay on the VR here. Next point is Whiskey Romeo 493 at 12.9 miles. That's where we can descend to 1700. I'll slow down a bit as well. 1000 to go. Actually, I'll start slowing down more aggressively now. And remember to keep 1000 feet per minute descent in the last 1000 feet. 500 to go and 2 miles to go. Right, speed check, gear down, flaps, take off. I'll get the lights as well. I don't want the blinking, so I'll keep the pulse off. Reminds me I didn't do the final check before. Right. Gear are out. And will you level off now? Yes, you are. 1 mile to go. I'll let the speed bleed off and we will get the flaps full. Wait, we passed 12.9 already, so autopilot off. I'm going down 1700. Yaw damper off, flight director off. So I don't have the indications here that I'm not following. And our final approach fix is at 6 miles. .1. $500 to go. Sorry, I'm wrong. We're not going to 2000. Right, doing 100 knots. So that's pretty slow, but since I'm flying this manually, I want to be on the slower side and be fully configured before I start the final approach. Three and a half miles to go. So what we'll be doing, we'll be flying around 100 knots, so around 500 feet per minute descent, and I'll be checking altitude according to the table, so 6 miles 1660, 5 miles 1340 and so on. Whoa, smash the altitude here. Let's level off. Add some power. So maybe I configured a bit early. Right, I think 90 knots is what I want to keep, so around 450 descent. 2 miles to go. I want to start my descent a bit before the final approach fix, because initiating the descent will take a moment. So I think like 0.1 or 0.2 miles before, and that's gonna be it. Now I am a bit high, so let's correct that. I'm a bit to the right, so let's correct that as well. 1 mile to go. Half mile to go. Alright, 0.2 to go. I'll start the descent. So 450, roll back the power to 25. Alright, now stay on the VR, keep that vertical speed. I need to trim up a lot, and we next 6 miles 1660. Right, so we passed that, next 5 miles 1340. Alright. 5 miles. Well, 40 high. Right, so we keep that going. Next 4 miles 1020. So I'm just keeping the vertical speed and staying on the VR. I know the runway is there, but I'm trying to look inside only. Four miles. 40 high. Alright, we don't have any further, so we are going down to 850. And that's our NDA, so I need to... Right, actually 100 to go. Looking out, there is the runway. If there wasn't a runway, I would start leveling of like 50 high. I think that's how I could arrest it. Right, 850. Runway inside. Let's do full landing here. We'll stop on the runway. The VR approaches after heaven offsets, so it's not unusual that the runway is a bit to the side once you see it. We are showing low on Puppy, so I'm correcting for that. Seems the nice night effect. I have a different perception of the runway. It looks like we are too high, which is typical night illusion. Now we're actually too high. Final check, gear down 3 green, flaps full, prop forward. Alright, try to get back on the center line. Not seeing our lights on the runway makes it a bit difficult. Right, here we are going to flight idle slowly. I will try to flare it nicely. There we go. Reverse. No brakes. Right, out of reverse. And let's stop on the runway here. Perfect. That went pretty nice actually. The VR approaches are super fun. I do recommend to practice. It will actually make you better at hand flying the ILS approaches because you don't focus on chasing the glide slope. You just have the target of vertical speed, which is a bit easier to follow. And when you do that on ILS, it will also make you more stable on the approach there. How long have we been up? 245. Nice. Right. I will take a bit of a briefer. Work around for a second and do a short break. So I'll be back in, what did I know, 3 minutes? Where did I leave you? I think I'll leave you like that. Let's look at this landing as well. Right, pretty far down the runway, so I think I will need to start landing a bit short. I think we'll do one more approach or two and call today. It's a fun plane to fly, I super like it. So, let me put the BRB button. I'll go off. I'll put the timer, but I'll be back before the 5 minutes. Right. See you in a bit. Alright, I'm back. Just like that. That's a very short 5 minutes. Reset the clock. And hide it. I know exactly what we're gonna do next. What's happening again? So nice to have you here. Also, I choose new registration. Charlie Uniform Delta means miracle in Polish, and there is a plane with this registration. It's a fun one. I love it. All fine. GG. So, I know exactly what we are gonna do next. We are going to use this RNAV system, which I love and adore. So, let me explain to you what it does. It takes a VOR, but it's a bit smarter than that. It's well, so RNAV stays for area navigation, or sometimes it's also called random navigation, but the problem is the term has been overused a bit and it means few different things depending on the context. You are probably most familiar with it in terms of approaches, the RNAV approaches. So this one is using area navigation, but it's using GNSS sensor. But area navigation in basics, the most basic form means you can navigate to a fix from anywhere. And let me explain what that means. So normally when we're flying on the VOR, I can navigate to VOR from anywhere using using the OBS and CDI. So if I want to come to VOR from here, I'll just select heading, what do I know, like 150, and then follow the CDI. So that CDI is in the middle. So that's fine. Now, if I'm on any radial, like we were flying here, I can navigate to those fixes. And you see those fixes, they have triangle, which means they are fixes as opposed to waypoints. Let me explain. The ones in RNAV, they have waypoints defined by latitude and longitude. And they have those stars. Now on the VR we have those fixes, which means they are bearing and distance from VR. And now we can navigate to those fixes here, but only along this radial. And the ad is here. So I'll wait until the ad is over. Oh jeez, this is crazy. I'm still not sure what to do about it. I am so conflicted. Anyway, I'm super glad the stream is running fine after another month break. It's been fun. I've been trying to have some time off and chill down, but it hasn't really worked. Work is there and everything, so hard to find time for anything. Right, you're back after the ads. I haven't said anything important regarding to what we're doing, so we can navigate to this fix. Like, if you're trying to navigate to this fix from here, you are pretty much toast with just the VR instrument. Because, well, how you do that? Okay, I know there are some smart people who can do some mental math and whatnot, and they will be probably able to do that, but in general it's very hard. So the way you can do that, you can first intercept this radial here, and then you can navigate. Well, you basically will know when you're passing this fix, when you're navigating along this radial. So now what basic area navigation lets us do, it lets us navigate to this fix from anywhere. And if you think about it, if the receiver gets a signal from the VOR, it knows on which radial it is, and if it gets also a signal from DME, it knows how far it is. So it can do some mental calculation, and having this information, radial and distance, it can pinpoint their location to, say we're here. And now what this system that I'm so happy about lets us do, it lets us do exactly that. So we can put bearing and, well, radial and distance from VR, and it will let us navigate to that point with using the indications that we already all know and love. So we'll be using the OBS and CDI, but we will not be navigating directly to the VR, we'll be navigating to the fix I selected. So I hope that makes sense. It's probably more explanation that it's worth, but let me show you. So now what we need to do? We need to do something. So let's say what we'll do. We'll take off and we'll navigate. We'll just fly up a pattern like we would be vectored by a controller. But we will add another fix here and we'll try to fly there. Now my only problem is I need to somehow figure out where I want to put these things. So that's gonna be a struggle. So let's put this fix on radial 270. Now remember, the radials are slightly confusing because here you're flying track 111, but you're actually on radial 291 because you are 291 degrees from the VR. That can be slightly confusing. So let's say I'll put radial 270, and remember the VRs are located to magnetic north, not the geographic north. So you can always check on the chart here. So you can see that the magnetic north is 5 degrees to the east compared to the geographic north. I'm not sure how the charts are aligned. If they're... looks like they're aligned to geographic north, and you can see that this is slightly skewed by those 5 degrees. And these rows will be aligned to the magnetic north or whatever the VR is aligned to. I know in northern Canada they will be aligned to magnetic north because to geographic north because, or true north, because magnetic is way over there. So let's put 11165, radial 270, and distance. Now this is 18 miles, so if I want to be here, this will be a bit longer. We do have a scale here, but... right, I'll just use my fingers to measure that. So I want to go to place... right, I want to be 5 miles off, so let's see, 5 miles is this. So I want to be around here where the cursor is. Now let me measure the distance. I'm just using my fingers and tapping this. I could use a ruler, but I don't care at this moment. That's the distance. Right, it's funny, I know. And we have the 10 miles here, plus we can add extra 5. And what I need is still more than that. Right, I think 13 miles is more what I need. So I want to go somewhere over here. This will be 13... wait, not 13. 13 plus 5. (13 plus 5), that is 18. So maybe I got this a bit off. Let's do 19 miles. So I go here and it first has the use and display, and it lets me select the frequency. So I'm on 1 and 1. So 11165. Alright, and it's showing just the distance to the VR and our ground speed to the VR, but well, it's 0 because we're not going anywhere. So now I hit the data and now I'm the radar, so I said 270. Hit the data again and let's dial in 19 miles. Alright, and that's it. So now, see that the distance changed. So now the distance is to the point I want it to be. So to this point somewhere over here. And I can see where it is if we just rotate this until should be somewhere behind us, and slightly to the right. Right, so now it's showing 2, the point, and the CDI is somewhere center. So you see it's 270 from us, 17.4 miles. So now it's showing distance to this fix I selected, and it lets us navigate using the OBS and CDI that we all know and love, which is super nice. And you realistically cannot do that with just the VR and DME without having this system that does the math for you. Of course, if you are that capable, if you can calculate this in your head, you can do that, but realistically, you are not. And I know of Schedule Descent, who's also streaming sometimes. He can navigate between fixes like that using just flipping between two VRs, but that's advanced military techniques I'm not willing to use to stay safe here and not flying into any terrain or where I not should be. Right, next what I want to do, I want to put this Whiskey Romeo 604, so I will navigate to it as well. So that's radial 291. So what I do is I just take this and do plus or minus 180. Easy way to do that is add 200 and subtract 20, or the other way around. So plus 200 is 311, minus 20, 291. So I will switch the display here to 2. Now we're editing the second one. So change the frequency 11165. Okay, and eat the data. So the radial, why does it have 0.2? Oh, the 0.2 is, I think, set to VR en route. Well, my understanding is that this is nav3, so this is the third device you have. You have nav1 here, nav2 here, and this is nav3. So you can basically set it to whatever you want. Which is quite convenient because now you have a third one, so you can show VR1 here, VR2 here, and you can set the fix or just the VR here, so you have 3 of them now. GG. So that's my understanding. I've never seen this instrument in real life, but it makes sense what I'm seeing. So radial 291. And there's that again. This dot 2 is triggering me, but it just means it's 2. And the distance. So that's 17.9. Whoa. Oh, so when I click the button, I can switch between miles and decimal miles. Yeah, you're back. So I just said radial, now we're setting the DME, so 17.9, and I can click or unclick this and to switch between decimal or miles. So that's the 2, and we'll use it later. Right, that's it. Right, back to 1, so I'm displaying 1 and using 1, so it's not blinking. I'll keep this here. First we'll navigate out on the VR just for takeoff. Oh, also, we want to navigate to our fix, so I want to be flying parallel to that. So we want to navigate on 291 into the fix, so I'll just 291 here. Right, and I'll switch to the VR first for our takeoff. Get this to 111. And we'll be ready to go. Right, I think it does make sense. It makes sense to me. I hope I explained it slow enough so that you understand as well. And I find it very nice tool to use. Also, to be fair, in this time and day, it's you'll rather use the Arnav system with the GNSS. Oh, so in the Kingar it's different. I see. Somehow I never used this, and here I saw this one and I'm like, I need to use it. I think I know, because in the Kingar you swap it for the GPS, so you cannot have two of them. So I think that I've never used it in Kingar, but here I have it, so why not use it? I'm pretty tired, so let's do one more approach and we'll cut late. I hope it's sound good. And we'll learn something new. I think I've once only used this Arnav, and now I'm just showing it to you. So super happy about it. Right, parking brake is released. Let's get the flaps one notch up so they're in takeoff position. I did exceed the torque there. Yeah, I know. Oh, hang on. I need to reset this. It looks terrible. Reset? No. Oh. Alright. Things better now. I'll step on the brakes. I'll set the torque first. Up. Alright, stopped here. Also, if when I was doing this in real life, I would probably pull the yoke so release the pressure on the nose gear. Right. That's set, and let's go. That's rolling. Now slowly releasing the pressure on the nose wheel. Airspeed alive. I release the pressure completely. It's 80 knots. Rotate. Alright, get the 10-degree pitch. Positive climb, gear up. It's 200 feet, flaps up. Keep the pitch up, keep the heading. So I had problem of keeping the pitch when flaps were going up. Now it's fine. I forgot to set the altitude here. We're 4,500 for the approach. I won't be bothering with the 850 mode, so we'll just stay like that. So let's get above, what do I know? What was the minimum vectoring altitude here? 2,700, so let's go to 3,000 and then I'll start turning outbound. To the right. Alright, so I'll get the flight director off, see where it's at. I'll engage the vertical speed mode and I'll engage the heading mode. And now I look that the bars are where I am, so I'll engage the autopilot and I know it will not yaw me anywhere or do something crazy. Alright, 1,500 now. Forgot the inertia separator. I still need to get my flows on point here. Right, 1,500 to go. I'll start reducing this vertical speed. Actually, it does that fairly quickly. Get the lights off. Right, and I'll dial the heading 90-degree right. And we'll switch to the RNAV. So now what I want to do is I want to intercept this radial from the point, from the fix that I dialed in on the RNAV. Remember, it was this fix somewhere around here. So we should be intercepting this line that I'm trying to draw right now. So let's see how this works. Capture modes. Also, I changed the music today. I like it. They had a special edition, so I thought we'll just use it. It's called Haunted House. I like it. Come on, plane, capture it. So there's the capture. CDI is alive. So full deflection is 10 degrees. Well, 2 dots it's 10 degrees. Usually it goes like up to 12 because it shows a bit above that. And we'll need to gently intercept that. Now remember, we are pretty far away. Oh, sorry, it's not in the degrees, it's in miles. It's in miles. My bad, my bad, my bad. So the CDI in the RNAV is showing displacement in miles, not in the degrees, which should make it much easier to capture than in the VR mode, where the deflection depends on your distance from the VR. And I'll elaborate on that in a little bit. I just don't remember what this full-scale deflection is. And there are two versions of that. There is en route and there is approach, and I'll show that in a sec. Actually, I'll show now. We have the RNAV mode here, and when I click it switches to approach or en route, and the color changes and the scale changes. Now I don't remember what deflection is en route and approach, but we can Google that. Basically in approach you want it to be more sensitive, so the deflection is a bit smaller. Sky Command, welcome, welcome. Beam Money, we are back. Yeah, I'm good. It's been a difficult month and whatnot, but I'm here. It's been a month break, but we're flying again. And we are using the RNAV system. So what I did is I dialed in the point here in the RNAV system, and I'm using the 11165 VOR, radial 270 and distance 19 miles. No worries, Kate Command, it's fine. It's just work, it's exhausting, so I haven't been flying too much. So I dialed in a fix somewhere around here, and now we're navigating to this fix using the OBS and CDI. So my OBS is set to inbound to 291, and we are navigating to this fix as with indication similar to the VR, which is so nice. And it's one of the first time, maybe second time I'm using this system in the sim, and it's super nice, and it's on the TBM. So we'll navigate to the fix around here, which with the just VR we wouldn't be able to do unless we had GPS or this RNAV system. How is Sky Command? Oh, the brake is in. We'll be back in a sec. So I'll slow down a bit, maybe. I don't want to be going that fast. And off we go. I feel like it. It's super fun with the RNAV system, and it's just so convenient. I find it so interesting to do. Alright, welcome back. Sky Command, how are you? I think it will maybe be my next purchase, that is the underliner. It's a super nice one. I'm really enjoying it, and it's like very streamlined, and since it's replicating a real aircraft with real cockpit, it looks much more in place than the other black square that I loved anyway. So yeah, I like it. I just prefer twins a bit more because you can practice engine out, but this one is really good. I love this one and the Kingar. So navigating to this RNAV fix is just so fun, like you wouldn't be able to do that with just the VR. Oh, you know what, in these times you need to be proficient in steam gauges and glass cockpit, because, well, hypothetically, if you get a work, you are likely to get one of those. Like, there is still a ton of aircraft with this kind of cockpit flying, and I find the TBM to be perfect mix between the new instruments, because you have the GNS system and you are RNAV capable for approaches. You have this fancy HSI, and you're basically steam gauges, so it's super nice. And like this for practicing IFR flying, because it requires me to do more thinking, and situational awareness is on me. I'm not seeing that anywhere. So if you see, I switched this to traffic map, so I don't see where I am so easily. And it's just very good for IFR practice. when we are practicing in flight school on G1000, we just turn both displays to primary mode, well, to primary flight display, and you don't have the map anyway, and you need to do all this thinking. So now we're 6 miles to this fix. I want to slow down a bit. So the idea is to navigate to this fix and then do the VR approach again. I hope you find this interesting. Sorry for the noises. And TBM is super fun. There's few quirks here and there, but in general, it's really great. Yeah, approach plays are great, and we're doing the VR approach, so we don't have the glide slope guidance. You just need to keep your vertical speed according to the table, or just do 5 times ground speed, and we do checks on the miles according to this table. And I do recommend practicing this because when you focus only on keeping very steady vertical speed, so you need to keep steady pitch, control steady vertical speed, and this will keep you on profile. And now when you're very capable of doing that, it will make your ILS flying a bit simpler, because, well, you're just supposed to be keeping stable pitch target first, second stable altitude vertical speed target, and only third, make sure this glide slope needle is where it should be. Well, Skygaman, no worries, you can always learn. So I think we should be starting the turn about now. I actually forgot to do that. 10% ground speed, I think. No, 1% ground speed, so we should be like 1.5 mile. So let's start the turn now, and I will switch to the second fix. So see, we are just arriving to that fix that I dialed in here. And we will switch to the second fix. So display to 2 here and use it. And I just want to change the course here to, I don't know. So I want 291 to be, oh dear. So that's 111 minus 90, that's 211. Right, so we are basically there. I did overshoot it just a touch. So now what I'm doing is I pre-selected the other fix, this fix here, and now we are navigating to it. Like from here, using indications that are similar to what you know from VR. Which again, with just VR, you would have a hard time doing this. I will get myself some drag, so speed check, flaps 1, I'll get the landing lights on already, landing lights, taxi lights. So we want to turn the turn, anticipate the turn, 1% of the ground speed. The ground speed is around 150, let's say. I'm just guesstimating it, so 1.5 mile to go, I'll start doing that, and then we'll switch to the VR mode. So, as you can see, this is super fun, and I'm doing all this thinking in my head, like trying to think where I am. And I know I have the chart here, but it's mostly for you to be able to see. When I would be flying alone, I would hide this aircraft and just do this mentally, but here I wanted to illustrate that. And you see, because I'm doing all of that in my head, I have much better mental picture of what's going on or where I want to be. 1.5 to go, so let's do the turn now. And our turn should be to 111, so let's see how this goes. Switch to VR1. And off we go. So if you are using the CDI, one advice for the intercept is to keep your heading above the end of the bar, and this should give you a smooth intercept. This works better when you're close, it doesn't work so well when you're that far. Right, so here we are. Once this level's off, I will go into hand flying. Alright, we're through 12.9 and we are going down 1700. Right, disconnect the autopilot. Flight director off because I'm not following it, so I don't want this to be interfering. Like, not showing me guidance that I'm not intending to follow. And let's do this. Speed check, gear down. And our final approach fix is Whiskey Romeo 491 at 6.1. Let's get this under control. Because this whole thing is moving, in my brain I feel like we are not where I want to be. So let's see, we have 4 miles to go. Let me look at the trims. Okay, they look about right. Oh, I see my torque went up for... I'm not sure why. That's why I wasn't descending. So let's get back on course because we are there. 600 feet to lose and 3 miles to go. Speed check, flaps full. This ending in a moment. We'll be leaving off by then, and I think we will be good to go. Something's up with my trim, so I'll try to correct that in a moment. Welcome back after the ads. Sky Command, any advice about the ads? Because I switched to the mid-roll and they're bothering me, but it's not bothering new people. I don't like the choice I have. Anyway, here we are. So, leveling off at 1700. We are flaps full, gear down 3 green. Fuel tanks look fairly balanced, so we should be fine. I am a bit off the radial, so I'll try to correct that. And my go around altitude is 3000. 1.5 miles to go. I'll just synchronize my heading back for time being until we intercept the radar. 1 mile to go. We're a bit high, so let me correct that. At point 2, I'll start the descent. Point 2 to go, starting the descent, reducing power, and we need around 500 feet per minute now. So keep that descent target. Power is set at 25. Right, and then I want to check, if you look at the table, 6 miles 1660. So we passed that. Next is 5 miles 1340. I'm still a bit off on the radial, so it feels like the wind picked up. Let me correct that. Right, 5 miles 1340, so we're perfect on the slope here. Next, 4 mile 1020. We are on the radial. Keeping that vertical speed, I'm trying to keep it very steady and also keeping my pitch steady. Alright, I think we'll be a bit low. So reduce the descent rate. And 4 mile 100 low. and minimum 850. So that's MDA here. I see the runway. Alright, we're low, so let me correct that. I see the puppy there. So you see this approach was a bit less stable than the previous one, but we're fine. It's just I didn't remember to do the countdown, like 1000 to go, 500 to go. And when I realized the MDA is close, it was 100 feet close, so that was a bit late. Right, now we're on glide path on the puppy, so let's try to follow that. Also the nighttime illusion, I feel like I'm higher than I should be, so that's making it difficult. Reduce the power, I got too high now. Now too low. Disregard the ping about the radar altitude because I didn't set it to correct one. And I think we'll backtrack and taxi to the main terminal. I just want to show you the main terminal, so let's go there. There are some biz jets parking there now and then anyway, so we should be fine. Right, I probably should have landed a bit short. So, round out, roll back the power to idle, get in the flare, left rudder, right aileron. Ooh, there we go. Okay. Reverse. Out of reverse, step on the brakes. I want to stop here. Clean the plane, so flaps up. I'll get the landing lights off. Well, they're not that bright as in an airliner, so I won't bright anyone standing to the side, but still, let's do that. Pull left, turn around, backtrack. Will I step on the left brake? Whoa! Also the runway lights. Now, how did it work? You get the alternating, so that I don't mistake it. There's 3 indicators. Have the alternate center line, you have the yellow edge and full red center line. If I'm not mistaken, it will be 1500 feet remaining alternating center line, 1000 feet remaining yellow edge, and 500 feet remaining full red center line. Let's see if you can see the difference here, because I don't think we can. I'll set the parking brake. Let's jump into the drone camera and let's see about that. Also the runway light, they're directional, so from the side they are pitch black. So when you're flying a traffic pattern, the runway is nowhere to be seen, which is a bit disturbing. So basically they're directional light and there is a pair of light, like one side, other light opposite side. That's why you only see them when you're give or take on the heading. I don't think the yellow edge lines are implemented here, so that's a bummer. Looks like a no, they all seem white to me, but they should be turning yellow at some point. Right. So the taxi, parking brake, so that's fine. Release the parking brake and need to vacate here. Maybe I did put my head a bit too low. There's the line. So the taxiway lights, they are illuminating, but it's only just in front of you. That's not... Maybe my head is a bit too low when I'm flying. I think I should probably adjust my position. Let's try to do that. Shift 10, that's the default one. So actually, I was having the default one already. Control Alt F10. Let's continue taxi. I think we'll just stand next to the CRJ there. We'll take the spot somewhere around here. There's one more jet over there. So I'm trying to follow the line. Touchdown looks pretty nice, and we are past the touchdown zone. Well, within touchdown zone, but past the aim point. Which, to be fair, is to be expected because I follow the puppy, which will guide us just to the aiming point. Right, let's take this parking place. And we'll turn around just like the CRJ is, so we can taxi out from here without requiring any tag or whatnot. Here, full right, stop on the right brake. Okay, that was a bit tight, I did not have enough power. And let's park like that. Parking brake set, that's what we got illuminated here. That's a rolling. And I'll get the taxi light off. Oh, I forgot the strobe light after leaving the runway. Boo. We are on the stand, so transponder standby. Alt is back, so I got the lights off, strobe off. I forgot to do that when leaving the runway. Transponder is standby. And we can get out the shutdown checklist. Let's do it nice and slow. The door after landing. I forgot the inertia separator again. I need to get this in my flow. So pitot off. That's the caution there. Inertia off. Bleed. We'll keep it. Weather radar off. Flaps are up, landing lights off, taxi on, strobe off, pulse off, oxygen supply off. Seems we don't need to use the oxygen now. And shutdown. Parking brake set, parking brake annotation illuminated, taxi light off. I did that already. Bleeder off. Cabin differential, let's see if it's depressurized. So it's showing 0. That's depressurized. Fan flow as required. I'll keep it on low. Air conditioning off. Power lever idle for 1 minute. So it's been running idle for 1 minute already. Gyro instruments all off. And now look that this one failed. This one is failing now. I think it will start the wobble and then it will just go full off. Or maybe is this one electrical? No.
danger, master, danger.
Sorry, I don't know how I do that. Thank you. I still have on my to-do list to do this Arduino thing to get the LEDs in my face when I'm on the wrong scene or muted, but it's been on my list for 1 year now. And that's completed, so we're good to go. There's a billion other checklists that we can check another day. Right. Let's open the door. We didn't get the flap down, so let's see what happens. Oh my. Let's open that. So I first need to unlock, and now I can open it. So I wonder, if I try to get the stairs out, will they be in the way of the flap? No, I think it just makes it easier. Well, first we check that the flaps work on the pre-flight checklist. Maybe that's the reason to get it down, just to see that it works, and you can also inspect it on the pre-flight walk around. So maybe that's the main reason to do that. Right, I showed you around a bit already, but here we are now at the main terminal. It's a super nice place. We have the square trees, they really look like that, and the interesting thing is when the airport was new, basically those trees, they arrive on a track and they're flat. Like they have like constructions made of stick, and all the branches are basically around those sticks, and the tree is flat. Which looks so funny. And then of course they grew, and now they trim it so they're square or cubical. And there are the buses. That's pretty much it. Nice scenery. Has a lot of places in the town as well, or in the city, like the bridge and the stadium, which makes the skyline look super nice from the plane. We didn't look at the sky tower when we were on the approach. So maybe another day. Oh, and there's billion cranes. See, those churches, they come from the scenery. And this one as well, this one. And the sky tower. Fantastic. Right, let me find some nice angle. We'll play the outro on the guitar, and then we'll go for a ride. We'll ride Vanna's player today. I know he's doing 12-hour stream, I think. So we're gonna go and raid him. So if you can, please stick out to the raid. It's gonna be fun. I'll play the guitar as well. So there are standing there in the back. I think that looks cool enough. Right, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be streaming tomorrow as well, and the next stream, I'm still not sure it will happen. For sure, we'll have the November streams in November, because this one is from the October. But maybe I'll try to stream as well somewhere during the week. We'll see about that. I'm still thinking if I can do some lighter setup, so I don't need to spend half an hour getting all the hardware out. So we'll see about that. Extended workaround, the 850. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it, so you are welcome. I'll try to do it faster next time, but still, no matter what I do, it will take a long time. Unless I get the cockpit preparation before the stream, or I just skip it. I don't know. Right, I'll get the guitar stuff out, so I'll be back in a sec. Alright, the guitar star is out. Now we kill the music, we kill the misfits. That breaker is running, so I'll get the drums and we'll start playing after that. I hope you'll like it. Right, welcome after the end. Manchi's here. Welcome, welcome. Great to have you. We're just ending. We'll be raiding Ibanez. I'll play the outro first. We've been flying the TBM 2 hours until being in the air, or a bit more. So I took nights slow, showing everything that is there to show. And we've been flying ILS approach, viewer approaches, and I've also been showing this RNAV system in the TBM. So I dialed in a fix, and I was able to navigate to that fix from anywhere. So if you want, you can always check the replay. It's been super fun. Great to have you here. I hope you're doing great. Let's play. Kid and Galore, it always is. My kid is sleeping now. How many is a lot of kittens? I'm intrigued. Oh, not a lot. I see, I see. Oh, a lot. Interesting. Show them in the usual place. I'll have a look. I always love it. 16 in one room. I have one in my room. That's enough. Right, the loop is closed, the loop is playing. Let me read everyone again. It's been a lot. Who do we have? Who do we have? Oh, wait. Oh, Bango with the South, thank you. Toaster with the raid, Forky, thank you for the raid. Right, Intake with the follow, and with the sub, thank you, and Diffused with the follow, and 10 with the 100 beats. Thank you everyone, thank you for watching. I had a blast, it's so fun flying this plane. I think I feel very confident with it. I'll just check if I can do the RNAV approach offline, and I think we'll try to do some hops tomorrow, probably on VATSIM. So it's gonna be great. I really like the plane, I can totally recommend it. It's super nice for practicing IFR because, well, Steam gauges make you think way more because you don't have that situational awareness on the moving map, you have to have it in your head. So that is great practice. I think I showed you how you can do that today. The ILS approaches, the VR approaches, and using the RNAV system, that is so nice. So let me go to the end scene. Take care, stay safe, thank you to get in, and we'll go and trade Ibanez. So hang on, I'll open his stream, I'll see that if he's actually still up there. And we'll go there. So tomorrow same time, 14 Zulu or 15 Europe. We're gonna be good. Right, he's up. He's doing something crazy, so we'll see what's going on there. Go say hi. It's gonna be fun. Alright, Control C, /raid. Control V, enter. There we go. Thank you for stepping by today. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's wait for the raid to load in. Everyone is in. So, thank you again. Bye bye.